everybody, and welcome into Friday Night Money Racing live from the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. It's FEG-PC, and boy, is it a special one tonight. It's the FEG-PC 2023 race for the PC Championship, and that means we are going to be giving away a PC. We'll break all of that down and more in just a moment, but special guest joining me in the booth tonight, former commentator and one of the guys that races in a lot of these series, Tyler Vickery. Tyler, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Figured I decided to take a step back on this one and watch all the action. Always fun to join in some of these, but I figured I might as well be on the other side. Have a lot of fun with the commentating and seeing how this action plays out.
Certainly going to be a fun one. Let's get started as drivers get ready to roll off the grid with your race info here on the night. Again, it's the PC Championship, and how this works is the top 10 highest earning money racers from 2023 are all in this race tonight, and they are going to be battling it out, and whichever one of those 10 finishes the highest is going to be given an FEG PC courtesy of Mr. Jeffrey Ford himself. And so we are on the NASCAR Craftsman Trucks. It's going to be 30 laps here tonight, just a short sprint to decide your winner. Everybody does have 50% fuel, unlimited tires, fixed setups, but no fast pairs, so you got to watch out for that. Don't want to get yourself caught up in a wreck. Bring your race to an end. 2.65 miles to length here at Talladega Superspeedway. Air temperature going to be 88, track temp 88 degrees. Air temp at 87, clear skies, and winds are calm. Let's get rolling here with your starting grid on the night. I'll go through the first 10. Tyler Vickery will go through the next 10. We'll do it that way and so on and so forth. Andrew Navarro will roll off on pole. Zachary Lima in second. Kevin Freese back in third with Alex Hill in fourth. Steve Karosik in fifth. Cody Nagel sixth. Jason Main seventh with Kenneth Stamper in eighth. Matthew Baker ninth, and John Mullihan rounding out your top 10.
Yep, and then we got Matt Lee in 11th, Daniel Eberhard in 12th, Dylan C. Jones in 13th, Trevor Osendorf, I'm going to butcher that, sorry Trevor, in 14th, Michael Triscano in 15th, Logan York in 16th, Ron Morris Jr. in 17th, Mark Frondell in 18th, then we got Timmy White in 19th, and Dylan Bazin rounding out the top 20.
Richard Elliott, Jeremy Osborne making up row 11. Ambrose Kniebel 23rd. Aiden Kirk to his outside in 24th. It's going to be John Ward and Brock Westerland in row 13. Christopher McCullough and Ken McCullough Jr., two teammates, but both tonight going to be battling each other for that PC 27th to 28th for those two. Joey Allen 29th, Ryan Bass 30th, and Brandon Phillips rounding out the field tonight. He will roll off 31st. Now, we know tonight that there still is the individual payouts, but of course that big storyline being the 10 guys fighting for the PC, and we don't have it on the scoring tower. Couldn't quite get it to cooperate tonight, but what we do have is the list, and we'll be trying to give you live updates on this as much as we can. The only guy that did not make it was Jason Maines, who was supposed to be here. So what it's looking like is Ken McCullough Jr., John Mullihan, Dylan Jones, Matthew Baker, Alex Hill, John Ward, Cody Nagels, Daniel Eberhard, Andrew Navarro, and Christopher McCullough. Those are the 10 drivers to watch here tonight that will be battling it out for a PC. All right, here we go. Navarro and Lima lined up, ready to see the green for the first time here tonight. 30 laps to wrap up Friday night money racing, and what better way to do it than in the trucks at Talladega. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Talladega.
Crossing the line at that first end of first lap, Andrew Navarro leading the inside lane while we got Zachary Lima, that bigger train here on the outside lane, trying to get a run coming off of 2. So far, these guys are just going to play it patient. Still got a lot of laps to go with half a tank of fuel left.
Yeah, and at 50% fuel, again, these guys can go right around 16 laps or so on fuel. So you're not going to be able to make it. Well, actually, you're not going to be able to make it all the way, but you can definitely make it in one stop. So there's not too much strategy to be played besides make sure you can make it to at least lap 15. If you can go one more, great. Might help you for an overtime. But now we're seeing some movement up front. Andrew Navarro jumping to the outside, pick up Zachary. Then he's going to split 3 wide. Oh, my goodness. A close call early. Navarro didn't like that. He's getting into Lima. Oh, no. And we have some problems early. Oh, Zachary Lima's not going to be happy about that one.
No, he is not, because that fell apart very quickly. And there's Ambrose checking up, John Ward, the 73. There is a lot of people. We can already hear it over the voice chat. There is not some happy people right now, and Zachary is definitely one of them. And I believe Andrew's also chiming in some words as well.
Yeah, and you got to remember here, 2 different things, right? 2 guys going for 2 pieces of real estate. Lima's out here going for money. Navarro's out here going for a PC. And I'll tell you what, Tyler, I kind of predicted pre-race that we would see some tempers. I didn't think we were going to see them this early. These guys getting after it. But here we go. Let's go back and break down this wreck for you. And I think it kind of starts here as Navarro wasn't happy with Lima. And that's kind of ultimately, well, I guess I shouldn't say that's what it starts with. But here we go. We're going to go to the TV. We go to TV6 for this. Take it back. We're going to go to the chopper view first. So as they come off turn 4 here, Lima decides he wants to make a move. He's got a Dale Cup teammate behind him. And Alex Hill, as he goes up, it's just close, but it looks like to me maybe Andrew Navarro just barely. No, I wouldn't say so. It's just hard side drafting. I mean, there's maybe some slight contact, but they both save it. Lima gets off of him. They're good here, but then again, I don't think Navarro was too happy with that. As you're going to see him, he's going to go straight up the track here and let Lima know. I didn't think too much of that as he gets into the door a couple times. Lima tries to kind of bump him back down, but then gets turned from behind by his teammate, and so it ultimately leads to all the wrecking out back that we see. Looks like in total, though, you're going to have about 3 or 4 trucks involved, and it's Zachary Lima who got the worst of it.
Yeah, and especially with that, and it just looked like, too, when Zachary made that move, Navarro was kind of somewhat expecting and trying to side draft, but at the same time, it's like all the pushing and shoving early. It's already starting up some fireworks.
Certainly has. I want to take a couple more angles of this one here. First, from the onboard view, of course, of Andrew Navarro to see if this was the case. Watch the wheel movements here from start to finish on this. So that's when he gets split. They almost wreck. Gets sent down. Well, actually, that was a little bit late. I need to back this up a little bit more from when Lima pulls out. And, I mean, first of all, look at the hand precision here, but definitely surprised to see Lima jump out that early. It was a close call, and yeah, I think Navarro was definitely trying to show his displeasure. I don't know if that's exactly how he wanted it to end, but that's how it goes over, and sometimes it's better to make friends than enemies early, and we'll see if that comes back to bite Navarro at the end of the races. I have a feeling Lima might try to get back out there later, and if he has a chance to help someone, it certainly isn't going to be Andrew Navarro. See that hit for the 4 truck one more time. All right, going back live up front, 4 laps complete. First caution, still not going to put us in that fuel window to make it without stopping, but it's going to be a lot closer now. 4 laps complete, and so they won't have to pit till again probably around lap 20, maybe lap 22, depending on when we go green right here. And it's Matthew Baker being scored as your leader. Matt Lee, his teammate, in 2nd. Tim White 3rd. Kevin Freese 4th. Andrew Navarro back in 5th. No damage after that wreck. Steve Karosik in 6th. Cody Nagel 7th. Jason Maines 8th. Kenneth Stamper 9th. And John Mullihan rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, and to chime in too, the top 3 stayed out, and we're not surprised in all honesty. I think some of these guys are expecting some more cautions. I mean, that was a very early caution, so seeing how we still get we can only make it half a tank of fuel, probably like you said, about 16 laps or so. So there's still going to be a lot of strategy-wise. I think these guys are going to wait, expect maybe another caution in 5 laps, and then come in the pit and hope they have enough to make it all the way to the end. Certainly
could see it going that way. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to see if we can pull Zachary Lima up here for a quick little interview, see what he has to say about that whole incident. All right, I think we got a copy here. Hey, Zach, this is Austin up the booth. Got a copy.
10-4 affirmative.
Well, it looked like maybe some tempered flare in there. You go to make the move, maybe some slight contact, but then ultimately looked like spark direct. Was Navarro, was he not happy, or was there something I missed? What happened there?
Yeah, man, Navarro went up, and Dale Cup had the pass 100% almost completed, and then looks like, I'm checking the replay now, it just, I don't know, came up into me and wrecked.
Well, I'll tell you what, we know that you got a lot of damage right now, but if we see you back out by the end of this race, do you try to get up there and help somebody else, or do you just call it for the night?
Oh, once I get all my damage fixed, I'm definitely going to come back out and help the team for the win, and I'm definitely going to spin Navarro like a top.
All right, well, we certainly saw Temper Slam. Thanks for giving us
a
quick word and the sound clips as well. We will see if Dale Cup can bring it home. Thanks for talking to us.
Hey, thanks, Austin.
All right, and let's bring it back. Lima, of course, with the sound clips there. And he wasn't too happy, but I tried to give him a little warning before we actually interviewed with him there, but it is what it is. Nonetheless, getting ready to go back green. We got the one to go signal. And like I said, in Navarro's defense, I mean, you can understand where the anger's coming from. I mean, he's out here going for a PC, and, you know, you look at it and you say, dude, you got the whole year to race me aggressive. Give me some slack. So I kind of see a little bit of both sides, but nonetheless, those tempers, we'll see how they carry over here. But up front, if you're Matthew Baker, I think you got a good pusher and Kevin Freeze behind you. I don't think Kevin looks to do anything too major right now, and I got to be honest, Tyler, I think it's time to settle in and try to tick off some laps.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think some of these guys that are, especially teammates, I mean, Matt Baker, him being one of the guys that's also fighting for that PC, I know he wants to be up front and just be able to stay away from the danger, and that's going to be the best opportunity for him is just stay out of the danger, hope get some laps knocked out, get ready for those green flag pit stops if and when they happen. Gonna knock on wood, though, that I don't jinx it, but we'll see what happens.
And speaking of Matthew Baker, he is one of the guys on the driver cam for us here tonight, and he is one of the guys that's going to be going for some big bucks here later tonight. And then, of course, keeping an eye on that PC battle right now. The man that leads it is Matthew Baker for the moment. Green flag back in the air at Talladega. 6 laps now complete, 25 to go. And it's a pretty good start for that outside line. Matthew Baker, Kevin Freeze got locked up in a hurry, and they're just going to push slowly here. If Kevin can get Baker clear, I think you'll see that 5 jump down to the bottom, but Matt Lee is not just going to necessarily roll over for his teammate because he can't. He's got Tim White behind doing a ton of pushing, and Tim White's going to stick there as long as he can. Tim's not going to get hot for these first couple laps, but look at the run the outside gets. Matthew Baker's going to get clear, and he'll take it down the Alabama gang backstretch.
Easily a nice little teammate push there. Meanwhile, the 25 Kevin Freeze is just going to try to get that outside lane to work. We are 2 by 2, about 10 rows deep. Meanwhile, about a few more truck lanes back. A lot of other drivers just playing, being patient. Dylan Bazin, Jeremy Osborne, Joey Allen, John Ward, all those guys are waiting for another wreck.
Yeah, and you saw Cody Nagels jump up to the top now behind Andrew Navarro. We'll see if those two decide to try to work together, maybe go to the front. That's where Navarro was before that last wreck. You got to wonder how much he wants to get back there. A little bit of a side draft on the 239 up front now. Kevin Freeze has taken the lead, and he has jumped right in front of Matthew Baker. Looks like further back, Cody Nagels is thinking about going 3 wide. He'll do just that. As he goes up high, he's going to get some help here from Logan York, and they're going to try to get that third lane up here as quick as possible. Remember, it's a little bit of a cooler track temp right now at 88 degrees, so it's going to be hard to get that momentum going. But if you can make it happen, you're going to carry a lot of speed here out of turn 4. Cody Nagels, let's see if he can get up here through the tri-oval.
Yeah, and Logan York is one of those drivers that he can really be able to push a truck and be able to get these guys, get someone moving all the way up to the front. See him barely hanging in there. He's already Logan's already got Cody Nagels up there. Meanwhile, the 27 is Steve Korsak jumps up to the middle line, holding on to that lead.
Again, look at the battle for the PC right now. The man leading it is indeed still Matthew Baker. He is the highest up of the 10 that were eligible for it. And Andrew Navarro, he's pretty close to that mix as well. Cody Nagels. And by the way, I meant to shout out that after Tyler actually reminded me when we went to break. Jason Maines is here. Initially it was thought that he wasn't, and therefore it would have went to Christopher McCullough. But since Jason is here, that is his spot. And so he was that final 10th entry that is eligible to win the PC here tonight.
Meanwhile, also that high lane has started to falter a little bit there, falling all the way back down behind Andrew Navarro. Both the middle and the inside lanes having a really good runs. However, that middle lane is just continuing to be strong. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to, someone's going to have to find a way to get that low line to work or that high line, because that middle line is just cruising.
And you got Steve Korosik out in front now for the first time here tonight. Cody Nagel still up top. Matthew Baker on the bottom with a push from his teammate Matt Lee. You know those two NBG guys are feeling pretty comfortable locked up, but how about some of the guys taking the opposite strategy right now? Ken McCullough Jr., the veteran, sticking back there with his teammate Christopher McCall. They're going to make sure they hang on to the draft, but they saw what we saw, Tyler, in that first wreck. Some tempers, and I think they think there might be a couple more little arguments throughout the rest of this race, and they don't want to be any part of any chaos or wrecks that are going to happen up there. So they're just going to hang back, play it safe, wait till the big one happens, and then go up there and try to make their move. And I mean, we are 3 wide for about 6 rows deep at the front. Nobody giving an inch, and now Cody Nagels has finally drawn even with that lead row as Matthew Baker was able to get back to the top in front of Kevin Freeze. Steve Carosa can jump back to the bottom, and so they stay 3 by 3 as they go into turn 1, but it's Matthew Baker who's now going to poke a nose out in front.
Yeah, Cody Nagels had to almost have the lead there at one point. Logan York had it. I think Logan York is starting to get hot because you can already see him wheeling a little bit there on the right side corner of the truck, just trying to keep that truck cooled. These trucks, you can push them for multiple laps, but you have to watch those temps. Otherwise, you're going to be really blowing up the trucks. As you're watching that onboard there, you can see how close these trucks are. I mean, 3 by 3, so many rows back. I'm still impressed right now. These guys are really pushing hard.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're pushing this hard too. I mean, we've mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. No fast repairs tonight, especially when we get that early first wreck. Sometimes that seems to calm things down a little bit. That's not the case. They have been go from the start. Even after the wreck, they got right back to it. Navarro, you see, has gotten buried. John Mullahan, another one of the drivers in that battle for the PC. Jason Maines in 8th. Now, all this is eventually going to have to start to get settled in and simmer down when it gets closer to pit stops. And remember, we said they could make it all the way to about lap 20. That puts us about 10 to go. Oh, Kevin Freeze blew up. He goes up in the back. They're wrecking big. Oh, no, this is going to collect all sorts of the PC contenders. I saw Mullahan get involved. Michael Triscaro's got damage to 32. John Ward's trying to get through. We got others in the grass here that are just getting rolling. Alex Hill.
I think Jason Maines might have gotten very lucky because there was at one point, he was almost to a full stop, and I think everyone avoided him. But yeah, massive pile up there.
Yeah, that's that aggression. I mean, I don't think that's what actually caused the wreck, but that's the risk you run. Run up here in the pack, they're 3 wide now. Let's see what happens. It looked to me like Kevin Freeze blew up initially, unless it was somebody else, but you saw the big plume of smoke, and then they all piled up behind. So here we go. And yeah, Kevin Freeze is towed, so it might be indicative. We'll go to the cockpit first here. Kevin Freeze behind Matthew Baker. Been pushing pretty hard for a while. But yeah, oh yeah, it goes kaboom on him. And, you know, interestingly enough, Kevin, one of the veterans, but he was still the lead pusher, and we see that sometimes even with the best of the best guys. They have to focus on pushing really hard. Sometimes you ignore those temps, or you think, okay, I might be blinking, but I still got a little bit of time, and watch this, starts to slow up. You're going to see the cloud of smoke fire out of the pipes. He's trying everything to cool it, and as it blows up, Jason Maines arrives on scene, runs it to the back of the 25. That turns him, and then see if we can count some of the guys that got in this that were running for the PC. Well, there you see Logan York. He washes back down. That's where John Mullahan gets clipped. Jason Maines is going to get some damage as well. Yeah, Andrew Navarro. Actually, he sneaks through for the most part. Definitely gets a little bit. That was a big shot to the inside wall for Kenneth Stamper. Ambrose Knievel. I mean, yeah, this was definitely the big one here early, Tyler. Didn't expect this.
Yeah, and I can hear over the voice chat. Kevin feels bad, but at the same time, running these trucks as well, it's so tough, especially when you're going 3 wide. Oh man, here's an onboard of Andrew Navarro. Oh my goodness, if he has any kind of damage, it's gonna be like very, very minor on that left front. Boy, he got really lucky with that one, but yeah, running 3 wide like that, it's very tough when you have someone pushing behind and you're trying to let up enough to be able to keep that engine from expiring. It's a big, difficult challenge.
You got to remember too, sometimes of course when you let off, that doesn't necessarily mean that as soon as you let off, the temps are magically going to go down. If you're still right on the guy's bumper, they'll either stay at that temp or maybe heat up just a little bit more. And unfortunately, Kevin Freeze, he just hit the limit. But what do we talk about, Tyler? Some of the veterans sticking in the back. Ken McCullough Jr., I think he actually led in points coming into this race tonight, and shows you why right there. He knew it was coming, one of those 6th sense, and man, it works out well for him as he misses that, and he'll be able to gain some track position. And it might be go time, but tell you what, it's going to be really close on the fuel windows. We go back up front. Cody Nagels being scored as your leader. Steve Karosik 2nd, Matthew Baker 3rd, Matt Lee in 4th. Trevor Osmond 5th, Daniel Eberhardt 6th, Alex Hill in 7th, Aiden Kirk in 9th, Aiden Kirk in 8th, Ken McCullough Jr. in 9th, Brandon Phillips rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, and exactly like you say with Kenneth McCullough, I believe Christopher McAuliffe might have made it through that as well. But like you said earlier in the broadcast, the McAuliffes love to, and I've noticed this myself, they love to be patient, wait in the back, let's things like that big pileup happen. Now that most of the field is now strawn out, there's some trucks that have damage. Now it's going to be the opportunity of taking advantage of that, getting up to the front, and just having to just strategize everything, hope you have enough fuel, and just have to take risk when it matters the most. As Cody Naegels is coming into the pits. Everyone's coming into the pits now.
Yeah, and you just mentioned why, right? Speaking of fuel, I mean, you come in, you top off right here. We're going green with 16 to go. That is right on the window. So I think what you'll see here is just about everybody should make it, as long as you're not the leader, and you still might want to save just a little bit. But again, by pitting here, I think you should be able to make it, but we'll have to see here. So as they gear up and get ready for the green flag again, we're going to take a quick break. We'll go side by side. We'll be right back at Talladega. Front, now we're going to see a little four wide action.
Crazy out of the trial.
Oh, he gets over in the lead on the record.
3x3 entering
3-2. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway for the PC Championship, and already we had some drama early. If you missed it, you didn't miss too much. We had a couple big wrecks and a couple people out of this race, and I just realized, Tyler, John Mullahan, who was a contender, has retired from this race, so that continues to narrow down the number of guys still eligible. Here we go, green flag back in the air, 16 laps to go, and now it becomes a fuel race.
Yeah, and you can see, look at everyone further back. That crash made a big gap, and with everyone pitting with almost close to 1 to go, it made a big difference as well. As look at the spacing on some of these guys right now. Look at the outside lane forming already.
As that outside lane forms up, they're going to start getting around. Navarro's going to split the 32 here. Try to go with them, but he just wouldn't quite get lined up right, so he's going to go right around the 32 machine of Brandon Phillips. And on the inside, it's Trevor Osronoff with a big run down the Alabama gang back straightaway. He's getting a push now from Aiden Kirk. We don't see Aiden make too many starts, but when he does, well, he's always got a strong run, and he's looking good right now on the inside. Daniel Eberhardt, by the way, now being scored as the leader in the PC battle. Andrew Navarro just behind him. Cody Naegels right in that mix as well. And Daniel Eberhardt, a guy who probably didn't run quite as many races as some of the other guys, but still cashed out and made the most of his opportunities. And now he's going to do some pushing on the back bumper of a fellow Ford F-150. That's Aiden Kirk jumping to the outside, and what a push it was. Daniel Eberhardt got the 47 clear. He's not going to take it. Got to be careful here. If he stays up too long, Eberhardt might think about splitting him.
Yeah, and with Andrew Navarro right behind, Navarro's going to be trying to decide what he wants to do, because Navarro will look into that middle lane and force the gap in the middle. But he's thinking otherwise, especially we still have many laps left to go, and still going to manage fuel a little bit, but these guys are going to be pushing it all out.
Certainly are. 2 by 2 right now throughout the entirety of the pack. And again, we are not expecting another pit stop as long as everybody can save in. if you're in the pack, you're saving. Right now, if you're Trevor Ostronoff or Aiden Kirk, you are not saving. And in fact, Tyler, I think that might be part of the reason that Daniel Eberhardt's sticking with the 47 as long as he is here. He doesn't want to lead. He knows he's going to burn more fuel. He wants to have enough at least to make it to the end of regulation, potentially overtime if we need it. And then further back, Matthew Baker, Matt Lee, not trying to get any more aggressive right now, just staying in line, riding and seeing if we can get to the end of this thing. John Ward, another guy that's in contention for the PC, and take a look at how his runs went tonight. Been a little up and down, but right now he sits in 12th. And can the Hyper Motorsports captain get it done? He's next to the veteran Ken McCullough Jr. in the 03. I think some of these guys are trying to slowly put themselves in position, again, without burning too much fuel here as we come to 13 laps to go.
Yeah, and with 13 to go, these guys are going to really start making decisions, especially seeing with Trevor Arsenault, as well as Aiden Kirk both being up front. Two guys that are normally not up front, but like you said, Aiden Kirk he's here every so often, but it's a lot of these guys are usually not seeing these guys up front, so everyone's trying to figure out who's going to be the better truck to push, and we can already see Logan York trying to make some moves as Trevor Ostronoff comes up in front of Aiden Kirk coming on the backstretch.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, Trevor Ostronoff, he's not going to hear any more of that. PGR winner, he knows how to get it done on the biggest stage when it comes to super speedway racing, and he knows it's time to jump up, control this outside a little bit. Now that he's let Steve Karosik cool down, he'll go right back down to the bottom. Aiden Kirk will retake the lead on the top coming out of 4, but Daniel Eberhardt, Andrew Navarro, those two, while maybe not direct teammates, I'm sure they've got a little bit of an alliance going. And one of the things that we were so excited for here tonight, Tyler, was that even though everybody has teammates, you can't split a PC, and that's what they were joking about in chat. So at the end of the day, at some point, you got to bail on your teammates and go get it for yourself.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing that, because seeing how they're all working together now, I wouldn't be surprised if some teammates decide to leave each other behind, especially when it comes to those last few laps. I mean, you still got Eberhardt, Nagels, Navarro, Alex Hilton is still in it as well. I believe John Ward. A lot of the top guys are still there. Kevin McAuliffe not hanging alongside with John Ward. So about top half of the points leaders going for this PC, they're all right up there. And I would not be surprised if they start leaving out some teammates trying to win that PC.
And for the people watching at home, I know what you're thinking. How is Doc Hudson leading the inside line? I thought he was a movie character. It's not Doc Hudson. It's the fabulous Stamper Hornet, and it's Trevor Ostronoff's little scheme that he's put on here the last couple races, and I love it. It's looking good on the 89 machine right now. He's out in front, leading that inside line. Still no moves, though. I'm surprised that we're seeing the amount of 2x2 action we have. Usually when it's fuel save, everybody kind of gets single file. Joey Allen taking a couple peeks towards the back of that outside line, but still no move yet. And I think what they might be setting up for here, Tyler, is you want to be on the outside line so that you can make the move when it's go time, but still stay in the draft to save fuel. We're going to be coming to 10 laps to go, though, this time, so I agree. It's starting to get down to crunch time. You got to start thinking about making a move. If you wait till the end, you might find yourself caught up in the second big one of the night.
Yeah, and I think some of these drivers further back, I think they're kind of noticing it now, especially as they're getting ready to cross the line now as Michael Triscaro's in the pits. But I think with coming with 10 to go now, I think these guys in the back are starting to realize time is winding down, and I think it's time to make some moves. Some of these guys in the back are probably realizing, hey, we got enough fuel. Let's start working together, seeing if we can get ourselves up there. Maybe you have to force it 3 wide on the high side, but it's getting to that point where you got to start deciding who's going to be your friend for the time being, especially if you want to finish in that cash.
As we're taking a look at fuel here, well, I should say fuel saving rather, Cody Nagels, let's take a look at his dashboard inputs. Not saving too much right now, being behind Steve Karosik. Not too much off throttle time. He's getting a little bit, especially as he gets up to the back bumper of his teammate. But again, they didn't have to save too much originally. It was just going to be a little bit. Now, if we get an overtime, it becomes a completely different story. Trevor Ostronoff still blocking. Oh, Kirk, save it! He does, but Eberhardt's going to have to split him in the middle. Oh, Kirk's out wrecking! Oh, they're all wrecking! Aiden Kirk back down to the pack. Steve Karosik spins. I think most of the PC guys were able to save it. That's going to be a night ender for Aiden Kirk. And Steve Karosik, Dale Cup's going to lose some more help.
Yeah, a few other trucks that are still stationary on the track. Boy, that was massive. Ambrose was a lap down, Karosik involved. Yeah, I think, and I believe Aiden Kirk's engine expired, and oh man, look at that. looking back at the replay now, you can already see just Aiden getting pushed from Everhart after getting blocked. Just a little bit there on the left rear. You can already see Aiden trying to hang on to it as much as he can, and it got to the point where, oh man, as we're seeing here, 3 wide. Aiden coming back down. Eberhardt's already there, and yeah, Eberhardt just getting absolutely squeezed, and nothing that the 27 of Steve Korosek could do.
And again, right here, I mean, yeah, I agree. Eberhardt doing maybe not the best pushing, but initially it's a heck of a save here by Aiden Kirk. And part of this is Osronoff had just made the move up. Eberhardt maybe not quite expecting that move. So Kirk's got to check up a little bit. He also washes up at the same time. So Eberhardt gets him and gets him a little offset. That sends Kirk down. He has a wicked save right here. Eberhardt checking up just enough to let him save it. Then you see at this point, Daniel is in the middle. He's committed. He's got to split it. And then thinking maybe Aiden Kirk got a little bit of that tunnel vision right here and starts to follow Trevor Osronoff down, and they were already 3 wide, and that's where it's going to end. And man, Eberhardt was really lucky to not get collected and turned up into the wall with those two. That looked like it was going to be a massive incident when it first happened, but it certainly turned out a lot better than it initially looked. And again, did not see any more of the guys that are in contention for the PC get involved. But look at this hit for Steve Korosek and Aiden Kirk. Kirk, the front end's gone. Steve Korosek, the front end's gone. And like I said, you know, we keep talking about, Tyler, how important it is for the PC guys to miss it, but they all have a lot of teammates, and Dale Cup is now down 2 teammates.
Yeah, and John, I can tell you, too, on that replay, from John Ward's view, John snuck through. He almost annihilated both Aiden and Steve Korosek. It was, I mean, very, very close for him as we're seeing this from the cockpit. Oh my goodness. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there from the 23. I don't think it's going to be that detrimental depending on how that right front's looking.
Yeah, I agree. That was a heck of a job by John Ward there to not get any real damage. I don't even know if he made any contact. And so as we go back live, 8 laps to go. It's going to be, I believe, 6. When we get the green flag here, and up front, it is Trevor Osronoff still being scored as your leader. Cody Nagel 2nd, Matthew Baker 3rd, Daniel Eberhardt in 4th, Matt Lee 5th, Alex Hill 6th, Ken McCullough Jr. in 7th, Ryan Baste 8th, Brandon Phillips 9th, and Logan York rounding out your top 10. And by the way, with this caution, everybody should guaranteedly be good to go on fuel for the rest of regulation. Overtime's a different story, but for now, can Osronoff hold on? He's up 13, and who is going to win the PC? It's Cody Nagels leading that battle. We will be back for the restart with about 6 laps to go. Stick with us at Talladega. Front, now we're going to see a little 4-wide action.
Crazy out of the trial.
Oh, he gets over in the lead under record.
3 by 3 entering 4.
3 deep. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega. Back live, Talladega Superspeedway, getting ready for what could potentially be the final restart. Fuel good to go, a PC on the line, and 6 laps to go at the fastest track in NASCAR. Green flag back in the air. It's a good start for the fabulous Stamper Hornet. Trevor Oswanoff right off to the races. Cody Nagels, not quite the start he was looking for, but he is getting a good push from Matthew Baker.
Yeah, meanwhile, Cody Nagels is just having to hang on to it. Trevor Oswanoff is hanging on as well. Got a little bit of a gap, and you can see Logan York is hanging into that lead pack. Meanwhile, the back half is trying to hang on with John Ward, Joey Allen, Dylan Bazin, everyone in further back that's been involved in a little bit of wrecks. Got a little small amount of damage. That outside line is moving along.
Yeah, they are. Look at the run that Matthew Baker and Cody Nagels got going down the Alabama gang back straightaway. There's the big move from Matthew Baker. He's going to jump in front of the 89 of Trevor Oswanoff. So Cody Nagels will take the high side. The 5 will take the low side. Daniel Eberhardt now a little bit trapped. What does he do here? Doesn't have that many options, and he's starting to run out of time in real estate. Oh, the 90's trying to get to the middle here. They keep peeking to leave it open. This could end bad, but if you're Matt Lee right here, you got to stay down on the door of the 90. I'm telling you, Tyler, he is looking for any opportunity.
Absolutely, and then you also have to look at Kenneth McCullough as well. As he's already moving his way up. He's right now in the top 10 and 4th in that inside row. So McCullough teams is starting to make their run. They might be starting to make some moves here. You might see them jumping 3 wide if they get the opportunity.
Yeah, and again, the only problem is that they're all trapped on the inside right now. You got to get to that outside to make a move, maybe make the 3rd lane work, but all of a sudden, seeing some resurgence now in the bottom lane. The problem is it's only Daniel Eberhardt. You know he's going to run. Oh, wreck it out back. 2 around. Richard Elliott hard into the wall. We got 1 more. And that's going to draw the caution, as I think it was Dylan Jones.
Oh, and the 0-2 just got annihilated. Richard Elliott.
Ron Morris Jr. flying in there towards the end. Just couldn't quite get it slowed down in time. And so now this is going to push us into overtime.
And Dylan Jones, unfortunately, he's going to be the 2nd PC driver to potentially have too much damage, because that looked like a very hard hit.
Yeah, as we go back here and take a look, back this up to the initial incident, thinking it might be just guys kind of deciding that it's go time, and then accident's kind of going to stem from there. So here we go. Back it up a little bit further. So there's Dylan Jones. He's already really offset to the right side of Richard Elliott, and he's going to go to his outside, and boy, he's just still so tight on the side draft that when he does jump out, there's a little bit of that right rear neck code. And man, that's a tough break for Richard Elliott. Was minding his own, keeping it respectful to the guys running for the PC. And yeah, I agree, Tyler. That's a pretty big shot for the 28. And then there's Ron Morris Jr. piling in as well. So yeah, that could end Dylan Jones' night. Yeah, he towed. So yeah, that'll take out our 2nd PC contender of the night. So now we're down to 8. And 2 laps to go, 8 guys competing. We still got a lot of crazy racing we're about to see.
Yeah, and you can look on that replay too. Navarro and Maines got lucky, because had Richard Elliott been a little bit further up when Dylan and Richard made that move, easily both Maines and Navarro could have been involved, and that would have been 2 more PC drivers potentially out of it.
So we take one final view here from the TV follow. Richard Elliott, a little bit of airtime, his back wheels came off the ground, truck quickly set back down. And boom, Ron Morris Jr. committed to the high side. Maybe thought Richard Elliott was going to go down. Unfortunately for him, he never did. So runs right into the scene of the accident, and that could potentially put an end, or definitely a heavy damper on the 76's night. Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, Matthew Baker being scored as your leader. Trevor Oswanoff in 2nd. Cody Nagels 3rd. Daniel Eberhardt 4th. Matt Lee in 5th. Ken McCullough Jr. 6th. Ryan Bass 7th. Alex Hill in 8th. Brandon Phillips 9th. And Logan York rounding out your top 10. By the way, Matthew Baker 1st and leading that PC battle for the moment.
Yeah, and Cody Nagels is going to be right behind him too. And Cody Nagels is also battling for that PC. Same with Eberhardt and Kenneth McCullough as well. So still, and Alex Hill actually. Alex Hill's up there holding on to 8th place currently. So we still got 4 or 5 PC drivers still fighting it out for that PC. So a lot can still happen here, especially as we're in overtime now.
I want to give a quick shout out to everybody tuning in, watching tonight. Devin Ray in here, rooting on some of his guys, along with Mike Davenport as well. Good to see everybody. Hope you're having a good Friday night as we approach Saturday. And couple of big things going on overall. I mean, sim racing, we got the Podium 500 coming up in a couple of weeks. If you're not registered for that, you need to get registered for biggest event of the season. Can't wait for it. Gonna be in that, seeing what we can make happen. And then, of course, the Rolex 24 in real life tomorrow. We got a lot of good broadcasts coming up next week. I mean, it's just a good time to be in sim racing, Tyler.
Oh, absolutely. And with me living close by to the Rolex, I was going to be over there again this year. It would have been my 4th consecutive year, but this year I had some other plans as I'm actually doing some actual racing here pretty soon, coming the speed weeks for the real life Daytona 500. I'll be actually running a short track over in New Smyrna Speedway for World Series of Asphalt, so that's going to be a lot of fun doing night 1 and 2 for 4-cylinder class. So a lot of action, and I'm looking forward to both some real life racing and as well as the sim racing. I'm hoping I can try to qualify for Podium, but it's going to be hit and miss on whether I'm going to be able to make it or not.
Yeah, Podium, one of those events that it's such a marquee event, and you have to work so hard to make it that just making the event itself feels like a victory. I was lucky enough to do so last year, and I mean, you look at this field we have now, as stacked as it is, don't be surprised when I tell you over half of these guys run it as well, and I'm sure we'll see even more than that this year as the money racing scene has just gotten stronger, and what Jeffrey Ford has done this season with the PC giveaway has added a little bit extra here towards, of course, the beginning of this year, but what was the end of last year with guys getting extra competitive. And man, Daniel Eberhard here is going to have a stellar chance because he's got the veteran Ken McCullough Jr. behind him. And I don't think Alex Hill would stick with that 90, but like I said, the 03 very well might. And Eberhard's going to have to make a move unless he gets Osronov clear. It's a chess game is what it is at 190 miles an hour, and one wrong move, you find yourself out of the race, but one right move, and it could be checkmate. You get the PC, it's all over.
Yeah, exactly, and especially when you have to also look and worry about the 2 teammates of Matthew Baker and Cody Neggles. I mean, both of them have just been absolutely approaching each other the entire race. And then you've got on the outside lane Kenneth McCullough, you got Daniel Eberhard, Matt Lee. You got like everyone trying to figure out like who wants to win this more. And at the same time, it's like I think the team aspect side, I think there's some drivers also trying to see big picture as well. You also have some money available on these races as well, that of drivers that aren't in that top 10 that are fighting for the PC. So a lot of team strategy going on, and it's going to be who's going to be more for the team and who's going to be more for the PC.
And then we got a PC and a race person. Of course, Matthew Baker, Cody Neggles, the ex-NBG teammates, and they still got an alliance, but I can tell you right here at the end of this, Tyler, they're not going to work together for too long. I mean, he might stick with them to that last lap is probably going to be the craziest last lap you've seen with these guys in money racing over the last year, because it'll be the only time I think you'll ever hear me say that the teammates aren't just going to stick with each other the rest of the way, and it's going to be every man for themselves. But Baker's in the running. Cody Neggles is in the running, Daniel Eberhard, Ken McCullough Jr., Alex Hill. I mean, the list goes on, and they're all up here under a blanket as we get ready for this 2-lap shootout.
Yeah, as we're waiting to fire off, and I'm going to say one thing too. I'm expecting 4-wide, 5-wide finish for this PC. As right now, waiting for Matthew Baker to fire off, and as he fires off, not firing off that well though, as we have a stack up on the inside lane. Meanwhile, Trevor's having a checkup, trying not to get himself black flagged as well.
And so Daniel Eberhard already locked on the back of the 89, trying to he's going to try to light him up here for enough of a push to get that 89 clear. So if you're Cody Neggles, this is where you make all your money right here. You have got to push Baker as hard as you can. He's not able to get clear that time though, so he's got to stick. Now Baker's going to jump to the high side. They'll put a block on the top. Did not see that move coming, but Baker saw the run, wanted to take advantage of it. Now that he's up top, does Cody Neggles have enough to get to his quarter panel on the bottom?
I don't know. And meanwhile, further back in this pack, Alex Hill is looking at possibly making a move. Meanwhile, Logan York's just absolutely pushing Alex Hill as much as he can, seeing what these guys are doing up front. Meanwhile, Cody Neggles and Matt Baker are just side by side trying to control this pack, but I don't think they're going to be able to control it much longer, as we're coming to, I believe, the white flag this time.
Yeah, white flag is in the air. That means 1 lap to go at Talladega. A PC on the line, money on the line. Who is going to win it all? Ken McCullough Jr. Daniel Eberhard still tucked behind Trevor Osronov. Matthew Baker jump back to the bottom. He's leading them right now down the final time, down the back straightaway. When does he make a move back up? Does he make a move back up? Now what you start to think about, Cody Neggles getting clear if he can do so. He might have a chance to jump out. Daniel Eberhardt, still no move yet. I don't think there's a move to be made. Even if he does, he's just not going to have enough momentum. Final time off of turn number 4. Who is going to make that move? Matthew Baker still in control of the field. He's going to try to bring it home. Final time to the trial. They're wrecking out back. Does Cody look for one more move on the 5? He does, and he's going to stick with him. Matthew Baker wins the PC.
What a finish. Just more piling in after the start, after the checkered flag. But boy, what a teammate move for Matthew Baker and Cody. Oh my goodness, Nichols, as everyone is still crashing behind.
Wow. I'll tell you what, not quite the finish that I was expecting, but a great one nonetheless, and they kept it clean. That was not well. I'd say they kept it clean up front, but we still had a wreck here at the end, and so let's take a look at it.
Looks like John Ward tried his best, but yeah, nothing he could do.
What happened to Eberhardt right there? Looked like, hold on a minute, does Eberhardt get maybe a little bit of left rear net code here from Ken McCullough Jr.? Or does
looks like it.
Yeah, I think, it's close, but yeah, they make some contact. That turns Eberhardt down into Osbornoth, and it's going to turn them all back up the track. Ken McCullough Jr. slips through, but they wreck out back, and then coming to the start-finish line, not much contest. It looked like Cody did try a move right here at the end, but it's just not going to be enough, and I think Cody understood that. Happy to see that he could help a guy that he helps out a lot get the win, and Matthew Baker has got himself a new PC.
Yeah, but from what I heard, it's a very, very good PC as well. Meanwhile, both the teammates are just burning it down, celebrating the win, going 1-2 for the team as well.
And so as we take a look at your finishing results here on the night, that's qualifying. I was getting ready to say, what did I miss here? Let's take a look at your race results. Matthew Baker, again, the official winner. Cody Nagels brings home 2nd. Ken McCullough Jr. in 3rd. Ryan Bass back in 4th. It's going to be Alex Hill finishing in 5th. Christopher McCullough 6th. Brandon Phillips in 7th. Logan York 8th. John Ward 9th. And Daniel Eberhardt rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, and then Dylan Bazin finishing 11th. Mark Vondell with a good finish there, finishing 12th. Andrew Navarro having the unfortunate luck in 13th. Brock Westmoreland in 14th. Jason Maines finishing 15th. Joey Allen moving the most, well, not the most, but having a really great night, moving up to 16th. Tim E. White finishing 17th. Ambrose Kniebel finishing in 18th. Matt Lee in 19th. And then Jeremy Osmore rounds out the top 20.
Looking on to 21st, it's Trevor Osborne, followed by Richard Elliott in 22nd. Ron Morris Jr. 23rd. Michael Triscaro 24th. Dylan Jones 25th. Aiden Kirk 26th. Steve Karosek in 27th. Kevin Freeze 28th. John Mullahan 29th. Kenneth Stamper rounding out your top 30. And then Zachary Lima after that early wreck finishes last in 31st. All right, well, we're going to go get your top 3 in here for interviews. Stick with us. We'll be right back at Talladega. All right, back live at Talladega Superspeedway. We're going to start first night with your 3rd place finisher, Ken McCullough Jr. Ken, this is Austin in the booth. Hold on, give me 1 sec, actually. All right, there we go. You got a copy.
Yes, sir, I got you.
All right, well, you come home just a couple spots short of the money, or the PC rather, but you still come home with some money, bringing on the podium spot. It was a wild race. Was it what you expected?
Yeah, it was exactly what I expected. I was hoping I could just hang around back there and let them guys take themselves out. Sorry I got into Eberhardt there, but I think I didn't move too much, and he was coming down too. Didn't mean to hook him there, but you know how it goes here.
Yeah, certainly a wild race and a wild finish. And, you know, the first time and kind of the first thing that we've seen in any money series with the PC giveaway, how'd you feel about that, and how'd that kind of shape the way money racing was the rest of the year over here at FEG?
Oh, man, it gave us a little something to race for at the end of the season for sure. Definitely kept guys coming back. I enjoyed the race. The race was pretty good. Nice field, too, so racing overall was pretty damn awesome.
Certainly was. Well, before we let you head out tonight, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thank y'all for doing the broadcast. Thank Jeff for putting this thing on, and thank all them awesome teammates I got.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to us. Congrats on the third place finish, and hopefully we'll see you out here for the rest of this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy.
All right. That's Ken McCullough Jr. He brings home that third place crown tonight. Now, next, that's going to move us on to your second place finisher, Cody Nagels. He stands by with Tyler Vickery.
Yeah, and I'm with Cody Nagels. Cody, I know you wanted to get that probably wanted to get that PC more than Matthew, but at the same time, you guys brought it home 1 and 2 for the team. And what was your thoughts coming into those little green-white checkered flag action you guys had?
Be honest with you, my thought was getting Baker the PC, man. I've got a pretty good desktop PC, and Baker's going on deployment. He does a lot for our country, and he deserves the PC. So, honestly, that's all me and Lee were thinking about there is cycle once, get Baker down, and if he drops down in front of me, I can tell you right now, there's not a single driver that's going to outpush me in that situation.
Well, we definitely got to give a salute out to Matthew as well for serving. We always appreciate it. With everything that you guys have done this season, I know you're looking forward to next year. What's your plans for the rest of this year? For the start of this year, especially with how you felt with everything that FEG has done throughout all of 2023.
I'm gonna take a little bit of a general answer and say I'm taking it a day at a time, but I will tell you this. I ran all of 2023 with a combination of Dale Cup and NBG, and I'm going to stick with that group of guys because I don't think there's disputing that stable of drivers is the best super speedway racers, bar none. We prove it in FEG, we prove it in RMR, PGR. We're doing it against the best competition. Doesn't matter who it is. We're out there putting in the work and we're winning, we're winning the races and we're getting the hardware as a team. We're selfless. It doesn't matter who wins as long as it's brought, back to the team. Period. It's a wrap.
Well, Cody, heck of a run anyways for you and Matthew. Before I send it on back over to Austin, you got any more shout outs for you?
I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. I want to thank Jeff Ford for putting on this great event. And I want to give a shout out to little bro Alex Hill because maybe one day if he keeps practicing, he might get as good as Baker and I.
Well, you have to give it to Alex though. He gave a heck of an effort trying to keep up with you guys. But Cody, congrats again on the second, and keep up the rest of this year, especially for the start. And we'll see you in many races to come.
Yep, love you, little bro. I know you're out there somewhere watching.
All right, and now that is going to bring us to your winner here on the night, Matthew Baker. Baker, this is Austin Booth. Got a copy.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, did you really think you'd be going home with a PC at the beginning of this race? Whether you did or not, you got one now. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty tuned up. I had a couple drinks before this race, and Matt and I both said we're going to send it, and we got up front, and Cody pushed me for the daylights that entire last green white checkered. I knew after watching the race last night, I needed to get up to that second lane, at least give the second lane a chance to push me back up. And if I cleared off Cody's nose, I know with this track temp, I was going to be able to get pushed home to the victory.
Well, we might as well keep the theme the same we did with the other two guys. The PC thing, something that we've seen for the first time over here at FEG for this year. And, I'm sure you got a beast of a PC now, but to get another one, how'd you like this setup? And do you hope that we see more of the same for next year?
It's pretty cool, honestly. He's Jeff talking about increasing it to 15 people, which I think is good. More people to get their name thrown into the quasi lottery, as they call it in the super speedway racing. But it's awesome. I'm gonna take this on my deployment next year whenever I deploy out with my squadron, and I'll have a nice PC to take out with just a cheap monitor, so I can continue racing and continue broadcasting those Thursday night and race controlling those Thursday night races.
There you go. Good way to do it. Well, congrats. You are the winner. Before we let you head out, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, just big thanks to Matt all night, being the teammate and keeping us up front. Like the strategy call of both of us staying out. It flipped our track position about 10 spots from Dale Cup because they were out there dominating the whole time. And then once that incident with Steve happened, we knew Cody was kind of high and dry. Didn't have Sean connected to him, so I knew he was going to work well with us there towards the end. So I'm thankful for him to push me to the win, and it just just thanks to Coasting Thunder, MBG Motorsports, Baker & Son Construction. Thanks to Martin Sports, and Thanks to Jeff for putting on the races all last year leading up to this. You guys putting on the broadcast. This would be a fun one to watch back. And thanks to little bro for hanging out that middle line, because I wouldn't have been able to clear up if he hadn't done that.
Well, thank you for talking to us again. Congrats on the win. Go celebrate. You won a new PC, and hopefully we'll see you out here racing again next year.
Thanks, brother.
All right, there you go. Matthew Baker is your winner. That'll just about wrap up our coverage tonight. But overall, good race. I mean, a couple little, we'll call it arguments here and there on track, but everything got settled out in the end, and it's Matthew Baker who brings home the new PC. Tyler, I had a ton of fun, liked what I saw, and can't wait to see more of it throughout 2024.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it too. I'll be jumping into a few races here and there. I'll definitely say I'm not the greatest skill level, so some people might see me more on the weak sauce ones, but I still get to have some fun whenever I can.
We appreciated you joining us here tonight. It was fun to call, and we'll be back here again, I'm sure, for a couple 2024 races, but that's going to do it for tonight's coverage. So thank you all so much for coming out. We'll be back sometime next week. I'm not sure when yet, but just check the schedule. We'll have it. I hope everybody enjoyed. Till next time, have a good night.